Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of the Running the Bases podcast. I'm your host, Michael Garaffa, along with Ryan Blank, Nick Nath, and Marco Peralta, as we are here ready for Season 2, Episode number 7. This is going to be an exciting show today. I am stoked to be back here. We are all so excited because, we're going to be doing our live show hopefully soon. We don't know what the deal is, but we're all here. We're ready to go. We are stoked. Another week in baseball is come and gone, and there's a lot to talk about. And you better believe we're going to be covering and running all of those bases this week. So I hope you guys are all strapped in. This week's episode is going to be covering from August 12th through August 18th, which was yesterday. And that is going to be a lot of stuff that we have to cover in the meantime. So we kick it right off with the hottest topic in baseball today that will definitely spur a lot of conversation from all of us. That is Fernando Tatis, when his team was winning 10-3 in the 8th inning, hits a 3-0 grand slam after having a take sign that he said after the game he ignored. So this spurred a lot of talk throughout baseball. We heard so many different players, so many different teams. This has been the hottest thing of the entire year. We haven't seen anything like this at all here in this 2020 season. And it's kind of cool to have something to talk about. It's getting everyone talking. Should this happen? The unwritten rules of baseball. That's been the term of the last few days that we have heard. Ryan wrote to me before and told me about how, Tatis stole third last night as well when his team was winning by 6 runs. So it seems like the unwritten rules are kind of going out of the way. It makes me wonder, would this be happening in a 162-game season, or is it because it's a 60-game season where these rules are already being broken with the DH and things like that? We're breaking these rules anyway. So does that kind of give people the pass to break these unwritten rules? I think that's the question that a lot of people aren't really thinking about. Then maybe this 60-game season kind of changes that. But, just for my opinion on it, I don't think you should have swung 3-0. I think it is obviously everyone's going to have different opinions, but it's to me, it's the equivalent as stealing a base when you're up by 5 or 10 runs. Or I forgot what the other one was yesterday that I was thinking about, or bunting with a no-hitter. When you've got a no-hitter and you've got Billy Hamilton up there and he puts down a bunt. To me, it's the equivalent as that. It's just those things in baseball that you look at and you say, man, that was just not like, to me, it goes against the unwritten rules. And, good for Tatis. He backs it up, and I give him major props for this. He stands behind it. It was a bomb of a hit, the biggest hit of the season for the Padres, and really it's turned their season around. But it's just spurred so much conversation. And for me, like I said, I disagree with it. I think he should have taken that ball 3-0 because the Mets put it very well in their broadcast. When you've got the bases loaded and you've got a 3-0 count, the 3-1 pitch is probably going to be just as good as the 3-0 pitch. So I don't know. We'll open it up for conversation. We're going to go in the order of Ryan, Nick, and then Marco to try and get ourselves going here. So, Ryan, you kick it off. Obviously, this is going to be a good one. Let's not spend too much time on it, but, we'll make sure to just get our thoughts out there because this can spur a lot of talk.
I think he did the right thing. I think that when pitchers have 3-0, they think they have an easy pitch, one that they can just hum in there, nobody's going to swing. Like Colin McHugh said, you cannot take a pitch off. You can't just guide one in there. He researches players on 3-0 counts. It's over 20%. He can't just groove one in there. Rules are meant to be broken and to be challenged. Tatis, if I was in the same spot, I would have swung. I don't care what the score is. You saw the Athletics the other day put up 9 runs in an inning.
Yeah.
That can happen. So him basically doing that is not – I'm not saying that for sure Rangers would have made a comeback, but there's always that possibility. So I think Tatis did the right thing. I don't know why people are hating on him. I think it's awful that Tingler did not take his side on it.
Yeah.
But I disagree with you, Michael. I think that when you have that kind of pitch and when a pitcher's just giving you an open pitch that you can just kill, I think that if you don't want him to swing and hit a grand slam, pitch a good pitch to where he can't swing or he'll swing and miss.
That's a very good point. Nick, that brings it to you.
I 100% agree with Ryan. I think Trevor Bauer said it best. He was just telling Tatis, swing 3-0 always, never take a pitch off. And if the bases were loaded in the first place, there's a big possibility that there was going to be a run scoring anyway. whether he took or not. Obviously, that the pitch he threw would have been a strike, but I don't know why this is such a big deal. Like, I really just don't get it. Like, I guess they want to talk about something, and like the fact that Tatis was doing his job and he's on his way to his NL MVP right now. I guess that's the only reason you have to hate the people that are up top. But I lost a lot of respect for the Padres manager after that. I cannot believe he did not take his player's side, his franchise player's side. You know, it's really mind-boggling to me. But yeah, I 100% agree with you, Ryan. I disagree with you, Michael, but that's just me.
And I think you bring up a great point there that look, I disagree with how everyone's reacting to it. I think everyone's blowing it way out of the water. I think it's one of those things that, look, just for me as a manager or as a fan, especially of a fan of the Rangers, to be like, well, why is he swinging 3-0? You know, I just, like I said, I disagree with him swinging 3-0, but I also completely disagree with everyone else's reaction. I think his manager should have had his back. The fact that when he responded to that, he said, yeah, he responded to, what did you think of the Grand Slam, by saying, yeah, it's as simple as picking up a sign. Like, that's just, you've got to support your players. And he's coming right out saying to the media that his team is disobeying him. I would love to get into the heads of the Padres players right now, because I guarantee you they have very little respect for their manager. A lot of them have backed up what Fernando Tatis Jr. has done and what he did, and which just goes to show you how they are so different from their manager. This is going to be a very interesting season for him. I don't know how long he's going to be the manager of this team, but I remember we spoke about it before the season started. I remember, Marco, you were the one who knew about this guy, and you said, we were speaking about how he wasn't necessarily going to be the best guy for this team, and it's turning out to be that way. He is not really flowing with those players, and it's disappointing for a team that has such potential to make it to the playoffs to not have that connection with their manager that they need to have. So, Marco, that leads it nice and smoothly into you, because obviously, like I said, you do have this connection that you were speaking about. So go right ahead.
Yeah. So I want to ask all of you guys, did you guys hear if Fernando Tatis, when he went up to the plate, did the pitcher or the catcher said, hey, we're going to walk you? We're going to intentionally walk you. Did that ever come about at all?
No.
No? So that's a simple answer. It's a live at bat, bro. It's a live at bat. He's going to be hitting hacks no matter what it is. You know, and it doesn't matter, man, because if someone would have said, hey, Fernando, we're going to walk you, and he does swing at 3-0, then yes, I respect what you're saying, Michael. But at the same time, it's baseball, man. It's baseball. You never know when it's the 8th inning. You never know at the bottom of the 8th, if you're the Rangers, or even the bottom of the 9th, you're getting a hot streak and you get all those runs back into tie game. You know, at the same time, Fernando Tatis is the future of baseball, or he's basically the best player in baseball right now. You know, and the thing that got me frustrated is basically, obviously, Woodward from the Rangers, he was a little bit pissed because of the fact it was against his team, but the fact how the San Diego Padres manager went against his own player, and because of this player, he might get an extension, you know, because of how good they're performing with Tatis. You know, if it wasn't for Tatis, this guy would not be in the conversation for maybe an extension at all. But maybe it depends how this team is going to be playing. They're at around 500 right now, you know, and if it wasn't for Tatis and how he's playing, this manager wouldn't be in the conversation at all. So he just hurt himself by himself going against his own player, his own best player. And that's saying a lot of like the players he already has with Eric Hosmer, with won a World Series, Manny Machado with that big contract, and also Chris Pax, his future franchise pitcher. But Fernando Tatis with the small contract and the potential and talent that he has for the future, he's gonna. He basically hurt himself and maybe being the Padres manager for the long term, you know. But besides that, I really think that baseball is obviously a beautiful game, and something I said on Twitter yesterday. I'm not a big Twitter guy, but I just posted it just to post it. If you don't want unwritten rules to be broken, then teach them the unwritten rules.
Right.
This guy is young. He doesn't have a lot of time in the major leagues. So if you want something that he doesn't want, you potentially don't want broken, teach it to him. If it's not teach to him, he's going to take hacks. He wants to keep destroying the league. He wants to still prove how a 21-year-old is destroying Major League Baseball. If you don't want to get your feelings hurt, don't be a manager. Don't throw him anything that he could hit. Like, don't hang him a curveball inside the zone on a 3-0 count and hit a grand slam. If you don't want to do that, then don't play baseball or don't manage baseball. So, without a doubt,
Yeah.
I'm okay with Tatis, what he did. All respect to him.
Yeah, I'm going to add one thing. I think it's that when you have these unwritten rules, you can say what you want, but I don't think you need to teach them. I don't think there should be this unwritten rule, don't swing on a 3-0 pitch. As a little kid, when I played baseball, all the way through, I was told two things when I was hitting. Never go up and accept a walk and go up and thinking you're going to get walked. And two, take the bat off your shoulder and swing.
Yeah.
That is what Tatis did, and there's nothing wrong with it. I think that when people attack him for it, I don't think people realize that coaches say, don't just look for a walk. And that's what a lot of guys do on 3-0 is say, okay, I'm about to get walked. I'm not going to swing. Take your bat off your shoulder and swing. And that's what he did, and there's nothing wrong with it.
I got to add one more thing, Michael, is that when it's 3-0, obviously it's a great batter's count. Obviously, we know that you're in a great position without a doubt. You're up 3-0. So you're expecting something in the zone if the batter wants to strike you out.
Right.
So I think it's stupid. Like, what if, okay, I'm going to wait. Okay, 3-0. Oh, shoot, he threw a strike. And if he doesn't swing on 3-0, oh, dang, he threw a strike. All right, I'm pretty sure the next one is a ball, too. Oh, dang, he threw another strike. Man, now I'm down 3-2. Oh, my gosh, what am I going to do now? Am I going to swing a hack or hope that's actually the fourth ball I've been looking for? You just never know. So I'm completely okay with what Tatis did. And anyone who swings at 3-0, because at the same time, you just don't know what the next pitch is going to be, whether it's going to be good or you're actually going to get walked. So I'm okay with what happened. Yeah,
and obviously this is like I said, if the lead were any closer, if maybe it was 10-5 or if it was 10-6, but it was 10-3 in the 8th. And if it were maybe the 6th inning, even the 7th inning, I would be okay with it. But it was in the 8th when they were about to win that. Look, that just was the precipice for me. Look, I could really go either way. It's just for me sticking to those roots. The thing that really pushes it over the edge for me is comparing it to bunting with a no-hitter going, or with a perfect game. It's just one of those things I just look at. Obviously, swinging 3-0 is not really a novelty anymore. People do that all the time. It's the 3-0 with a big lead that just hurts. I'm like 52-48 at the moment, but it's just going to be conversation. I wouldn't be surprised if the next time, I don't know if they played the Rangers. I think they did play the Rangers again last night, but I wouldn't be surprised if you see Tatis thrown at. I mean, we saw Machado get thrown at
today, actually.
Yeah, we saw Machado get thrown at at bat after, and that pitcher got suspended for 3 games, which I thought was a big surprise. I didn't think he would be suspended, but that's a different conversation. I just didn't really. This is going to be spoken about for a while, and they have another game going tonight. Paddock is going up against Lynn. That's a big matchup between those two teams. And don't be surprised if Lance Lynn gets right off the bat. He's their ace. He has suddenly become one of the top pitchers in baseball, a potential Cy Young candidate for this year, and he is coming right out. I wouldn't be surprised if you see him do something similar to what Syndergaard did in the World Series. Throw right behind him, just throw right behind his back to lead off the game. Send him. Yes, exactly.
Oh, I was about to throw hands. If I may say, I was about to just go off. You're so ready to fight.
That was my favorite moment of the entire World Series right there. That was the only game we won. But yeah, the Mets Royals talk is going to go on forever. So before we get into the top 4 plays of the week, I got a little bit of a surprise for you guys.
Here we go.
On next week's show, because it is going to be the halfway point in the season, we're going to be doing an all-star game draft. We are going to make our own all-star lineups where all of us are going to pick one player for each position. And then this way we're going to be simulating as if we were making an all-star team. we're not going to focus so much on the other stuff. Obviously, if there's a really big play or a big bit of news that happened in the week, we'll talk about that. We'll also speak about the power rankings. But other than that, we're not really going to focus on a ton of stuff. I do really want to get that All-Star game in there. I think it'll be really cool to throw that in the middle of the season to see our view of who would make it to the All-Star game if the season were to be having one right now. So I think that'll be fun, and that'll give us another little thing to talk about in the middle of the season. So that brings us into the top 4 plays of the week. So right now, there have been a lot of plays that happened this week. I'll kick it off. We've got everyone that we've made our picks before the show started, and that will bring me into a very funny thing that happened in the last week where Zach Greinke was on the mound, and him and his catcher couldn't pick up the signs. So he straight up said to the catcher while the batter was standing there, he said, slider. I want to throw a slider. And so he said, and he didn't specify where, but he was holding up 2 fingers, and then he said slider. Mind you, this is the Astros. I find it pretty ironic that he's standing there. Astros, the sign-stealing Astros are giving away signs to the opposing team. The batter actually struck out on the pitch, which was even funnier, that he knew exactly what was coming and he struck out on. I don't remember who was batting, but that's pretty embarrassing. He knew the pitch and didn't hit it. Just goes to show you, maybe it isn't so easy to know what sign's coming. So it's pretty funny. Just ironic that the Astros were the ones giving away signs, especially with Zach Greinke on the mound. But I think it was so bossy, he just struck him out with the pitch he called out. It just was so cool. So, Ryan, you're up next. Let's hear what you got.
I've actually got the A's making 2 incredible comebacks late in the game against the Giants. My roommate Parker is a huge A's fan, and so we were talking about it, and it's just incredible how this team has just commanded and taken over the AL West right now. They have the best record in the AL. They're playing terrific baseball, and I think that when you watch this team, doesn't look like it, but anywhere they can just put up runs. Chad Pinder. Then you got, in my opinion, the best corner infield duo in Olsen and Chapman. You've got Laureano. You've got Simeon. You've got Canna. You've got so many guys who are full of power, but teams don't realize. They have the ability to put up multiple runs in multiple innings. And then the third game of the series, they put up 9 runs in the 5th inning and take a commanding 11-2 lead, end up winning like 13-2. The team is playing exceptionally well. The pitching has been solid. The bullpen has been shocking, and as in good. And I think that this is a team that is just proving that they are contenders and that they are someone that should be feared in the American League.
Oh, I'm muted. Sorry. Mike's muted. I forgot it doesn't show up on the screen. Nick, that brings it to you.
All right.
A good play. I said it was a good play. I'll leave my mic on mute now so we don't have problems.
So on Sunday, White Sox played the Cardinals, and poor kid, man. Raul Ramirez made his major league debut in the 5th inning, and it wasn't a pretty welcome to the big leagues. He faced 4 straight batters, and all 4 of them decided to go yard on the rookie. They went back to back to back to back to back. It was pretty funny at some points, but I feel bad for Raul. He was actually sent down on Monday.
Oh, yikes.
So, that was pretty sad to watch. But good for the White Sox. I mean, they've been struggling a lot this year. We definitely thought this would be a contender. But they've gone off to a bit of a rough start in the AL Central. But they're starting to pick things around, it looks like. And obviously, they don't have a lack of power anymore after hitting those 4 straight bombs off the rookie. All around the White Sox clobbered the Cardinals 7-2 that night. And it was just one of the great plays of last week. 4 straight home runs. You don't see that very often.
Marco, you're muted as well. What's up with us leaving ourselves on mute?
No, I'm good. No, I was thinking out loud.
Gotcha.
But I was going to say, so my play of the week is basically, it might sound biased, but I gotta give credit to Mookie Betts tying the record for 3 home runs in one game. You know, and the biggest reason why I chose that as the biggest play is that obviously he tied the record. At the same time, because of that game against the Padres, the Dodgers are on the winning streak that they are right now.
Right.
And if it wasn't for that game, I don't think the Dodgers will be in the top of MLB as of right now, because the Rockies, they were playing really, really baseball. Yes, they lost a couple games the past couple of days, but the fact that it basically gave them like a boost in their lineup, and having Corey Seager back, which is for me one of the best hitters in baseball right now, just having that momentum, that adrenaline rush between the whole entire clubhouse, I think is the big reason why the Dodgers are playing really good baseball right now. You know, so Mookie Betts' three home run game is the big thing of why the Dodgers are on the hot streak.
Yeah, very big moment. Obviously, Mookie Betts, such a big acquisition that's playing out very well. So then that brings us right into the weekly power rankings, something we're doing new this week. Make sure to check in every single week. If you want to see our updated power rankings every week, you better be here next week. I want to see you guys all here watching, because this is going to be an ongoing thing that we do every single week. We will be beginning at number 30 and going all the way down to number 1. We're going to kind of breeze through 30 all the way to number 5. Once we get to 5 and we're in the top 5, we're going to spend a little bit more time on those teams to speak about them a little bit more. So for number 30, I've got, and I'll say mine, then we'll go me, Ryan, Nick, Marco, and then we'll just move on to number 29. So for number 30 for me, I've got the Pittsburgh Pirates.
I've got the Pirates as well.
Nick, you're muted.
What today? Pirates.
I got the Red Sox.
Interesting. Okay. All right.
They just can't throw a ball to save their lives.
That's true. I've got the Red Sox at 29, very close to being in that 30 spot. Ryan.
Oh, 29 is Red Sox. My bad.
Red Sox.
I got the Pirates at 29.
All right, so we're pretty average. We're pretty equal right now. 28. I've got the Seattle Mariners.
I've got the Mariners as well.
I also have the Mariners.
Mariners.
Wow, we all agree on our first one, number 28. Number 27, I've got the Los Angeles Angels. I think this is where we're going to start veering off a little bit, but I've got the Angels. They're in a big slump right now.
I've got the Giants.
I also have the Giants.
I got the Giants on that one.
Yeah, I've got the Giants in number 26, which is next. So 26, I've got the San Francisco Giants.
And at 26, I have the Detroit Tigers.
Okay. Good one. I got the Mariners.
I thought you went with the Mariners already.
Yeah, I thought the Mariners were 28.
Yeah, you did the Mariners at 28.
No, sorry. I got the Giants then.
Okay, cool. So that was 26, the Giants. Then that brings us over to 25, which
I haven't said 26 yet.
You're right, Marco. You're right. Go ahead. Sorry.
Kansas City.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it later, Ryan.
The past week have played better than the Tigers.
We'll talk about it in class.
You in the division. I'm gonna say something.
All right.
Okay,
25. I got the Tigers at 25. Just been a tough week for the Tigers. I think Nick, you can agree. It's been a rough week for you guys.
But we lost 7 straight games.
It's been tough, yeah.
25, I have the Angels.
I have the Royals.
Tigers.
All right. And then for 24, I have the Royals right a spot ahead of the Tigers for the first time this year. Very, very close.
I have the Royals at 24 as well.
You can play for 2 spots, bro. Come on.
You have the Tigers? All right. So Nick's just got the Tigers and Royals swapped. But again, he watches the team more than we all do. All right, Marco, you're up.
I got the D-backs.
Wow.
At 24.
Wow. I have them a lot higher. I'm intrigued by that. They've been really hot the last few games. They've been winning a lot.
Well, it's the Padres, so I'm not saying like they're bad, but like they've been able to close out, but they got to win bigger games, in my opinion.
It's interesting. Very interesting. It brings us to 23. We're getting closer. I'm with the St. Louis Cardinals here.
At 23, I have the Toronto Blue Jays.
I also have the Blue Jays.
Blue Jays.
Interesting. I also have them a little higher too. I've got a 22. I've got the Cincinnati Reds.
Whoa.
They're on a bit of a skid right now.
I have them higher than that. At 22, I have the Rangers.
Okay.
No, I have the Reds. Yeah.
Woo!
Wow. Okay. I got the Rangers too.
Wow. Well, for number 21, I have the Rangers. So we've got them in the similar spots.
At 21, I have the Mets.
All right.
I have the Mets.
Okay.
I have the Angels at 21.
So Marco's got the Mets higher. I've got the Mets at number 20. I think that they have definitely leaped up a little bit in the last few days. They've gotten a little better. They've had a few good wins in a row.
At 20, I have the Cardinals.
Okay.
Who did you have at 20? At 20, Michael?
We're on 20 right now, yeah.
But who did you get?
The Mets.
Okay.
I have the
Who did you
Rangers.
get, Nick? Rangers.
I think we got the Rangers.
Baltimore.
Oh, we all disagree on one for the first time. Number 20 is where we first all disagree. Interesting. All right, that brings us to the top 20 now. Well, we already were there. Number 19, Washington Nationals.
19, I have the Marlins.
Okay.
What about the Orioles?
Cardinals.
All right. My number 18 is the Marlins.
My number 18 is the Nationals.
All right.
I have the Marlins.
Got the Mets.
Ooh, Marco, he's giving the Mets more respect than I am. I take that very. I'll take
They're not
that
high, so don't get ahead of yourself. They're not that high.
higher than I had them, so I'll take it any day. All right, so number 17, we got the Orioles.
I have the Orioles as well.
Oh yeah.
I have the Nationals.
Okay.
Got the Phillies.
All right. Brings us to 16. I've got the Brewers here.
I've actually got the Phillies at 16.
I have the Phillies as well.
Brewers.
All right, another split one. 15. This is the one that I was surprised that you guys put so low. I got the Blue Jays at 15. They had some big wins in the last week.
15, I have the Reds. I think that they've just been plagued with injuries, and that getting Mike Moustakas back today will be big for them. But they will lose to the Royals.
I have the Brewers.
Got the Nationals.
Pretty good, pretty solid. 14. I've got the Phillies.
I've actually got the Brewers at 14.
All right.
I have the D-backs.
Okay.
Wow. White Sox.
Well, Ryan and I both haven't even said the D-backs yet, Marco. All right, so that brings us to 13. I've got the San Diego Padres at 13.
At 13, I have the Chicago White Sox.
Okay.
I also have the White Sox.
I got the Reds at 13.
Wow.
Wow, that is very high.
Yeah.
I'm impressed, though. Number 12.
Yeah.
Oh,
Never mind.
go ahead, Marco. No, you can go.
Okay, I just think if they would have like postponed that game because of that one COVID player, I think they would have got that respect that you guys are not giving it. But this team is really, really good. You know, there were some players that are struggling, but that pitching rotation is Sonny Gray and Trevor Bauer for me one of the best duos in baseball pitching wise right now.
Castillo, who's also really good.
Yes,
Yeah.
there you go.
Very underrated.
Yeah.
So number 12, I've got the Diamondbacks here at number 12.
At number 12, I have the San Diego Padres.
Okay.
I also have the Padres.
Can you read that?
I can, yes. The Astros. I like that. That's clever. Very clever. All right, number 11. We're almost at the top 10. I'm at the Atlanta Braves. So close to getting to the top 10, but not quite this week.
At 11, I actually have the Colorado Rockies.
Okay.
I have the Astros.
All right.
Miami.
Wow, nice. That's a very high. That's a lot of respect. I give you that, even though the Mets have killed them in the last 2 days.
From being a team who is the worst team in baseball last season to being one of the top in their division, you gotta give them respect.
Especially,
I do.
I respect that.
The Mets are on pace to sweep them in 4 games, which will really kill them next week, but we'll get to that in our weekly predictions. Then that brings us to the top 10. We've got the Houston Astros for me in the 10 spot.
I have the Trastros as well.
I have the Braves.
Okay.
They would have been higher, but it wasn't for Plesac and Clevenger.
Dude, that was so stupid.
So I got the Indians at 10.
All right. I respect it. I've got the White Sox at number 9. Very powerful team. I think they're
Just to let you know, my source says that everyone is really pissed right now. Just to let you know.
Goodness.
I can imagine.
They're pissed. Yeah. Anyways, let's keep going.
You guys have a lot of grief for this one. Number 9 is the Diamondbacks. This is a team that started 3-8, and now they're 13-11. They're playing really good baseball.
They are.
So,
They really are.
I have the Rockies.
We're at 9, right?
Yes.
I got the Braves.
Okay. Good pick. Number 8, I've got, go ahead for number 10. I've got the Indians.
Number 8, I have the Atlanta Braves.
I also have the Indians.
For number 8, I got the San Diego Padres.
Wow, you got the Padres highest out of all of us, I think. I don't think Nick, you haven't said the Padres yet. Nick's got the Padres pretty high. All right. Number 7, I've got the Colorado Rockies.
Number 7, I have the Cleveland Indians. Despite the drama with Plesac and Clevenger, they're still playing really good baseball. They've got the league's best shortstop. This is a really good team.
I agree.
I got the San Diego Tatis Jr. Padres. Next.
So just one over me.
Right.
I got the Rockies. I got Colorado at 7.
Nice. And cool. 6. We're about to enter the top 5. This is the one team on the bubble that didn't quite catch the top 5. I've got the Chicago Cubs.
I have the Cubs as well.
I also have the Cubs.
I got the Rays.
Interesting. All right. Interesting pick. All right. That brings us into the top 5, where we'll be talking a little more, obviously. We've got these are the big spots. These are the big teams. We've got for me, I got the Minnesota Twins in that 5 spot. I think they've earned it. They've been hitting very well in the last few days. They've been picking it up. They were a little bit lower, and they've really picked it up the last few days.
I'm actually going to go the Tampa Bay Rays. I think that after they've struggled, they're 9-1 their past 10 games. They're really getting their groove going. Yes, they lost Brendan McKay, but this team is really good, and they're proving once again that they are true contenders in the playoffs for the AL. I really like the Rays, so I have them at number 5.
Despite the Plesac Clevenger, I got the Indians.
Wow. Big, very big.
Wow.
Respect.
They're on a 4-game win streak right now, and they're 7-3 in the last 10 games.
That's very true. They're very hot. Very hot team.
Okay.
All right. Number 5, I have the Minnesota Twins. Their
All
pitching
right.
has been phenomenal. Last night, into the ninth inning, Kenta Maeda, no.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I not low key. I high key miss him.
Well, I would hope so. He almost just threw a
would,
no-hitter
yeah.
yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, big for the Twins. So number 4, we're getting even closer. I have the Rays here in this 4 spot. They've been pretty hot lately. A few good wins under their belt in the last few days. Push them right over the Twins for me.
For me, I have the Twins. I just want to say I hate Nelson Cruz because he's getting older and he's still just killing the ball. He's hitting really well. So I have the Twins. They're the favorite in the AL Central, and it's their division to lose. And it does not look like they're slowing down anytime soon. This is a really good team.
You know what else is a really good team? I think that's 9-1 their last 10. I'm going to go with the Rays next. They're on fire right now.
Yeah.
I'm going with the Chicago Cubs at number 4.
Okay. Oh, you guys haven't said the Cubs yet. Ryan and Nick haven't said the Cubs.
I said them at 6.
You did?
Right.
Oh, that's right. Then Nick, you haven't said the Cubs.
I said them way earlier.
Huh.
We'll look back at it, but yeah, I got the Cubs at 4. So I think I got the highest one.
Also, keep in mind, just so we don't forget for next week, make sure you just write down next week, like how many places they jumped so that we can, kind of compare how they did in the week before.
For sure.
I forgot about that, just so that we have that on the same page. For number 3, if we did the podcast yesterday, they would be number one. But because they had a big loss and the other two teams ahead of them had a win, I've got the Athletics. They had an amazing week. They were fantastic, but they've lost their last two games. And last night they lost 8-1 when the other teams ahead of them had pretty good wins. If, like I said yesterday, if we did this podcast, they would be number one. But man, those Athletics have been hot. They're my number three.
Number three, I have the Yankees. I know it's tough, but this Yankees team is still really good. Their lineup 1 through 9 is arguably the most dangerous. Anywhere they have power, and they can just hit the ball really well. But I think that they have struggled a little bit on the pitching side, and I think that injuries are still going to hurt them, especially with Stanton once again. So I have the Yankees at 3 this week.
I have the Twins. They'd be I don't know. They had a really good week. They're 6-4 in the last 10. They have the best run differential in the AL, which I think says something. Yeah, like Ryan said, Nelson Cruz has been absolutely on a tear. It seems like he gets better with age, which is insane. So yeah, I got the.
I'm wondering where you got the Athletics, because you haven't said the Athletics yet either.
Yeah, he hasn't said the Athletics either.
Yeah, but then you've also got the Dodgers and the Yankees, Nick. So you've got 3 teams for 2 spots.
Yeah.
I messed up.
Yeah, that's what I was like. What?
You have a tie. It's okay. You've got a tie. We'll have a tie.
At number 3, I have the Yankees because just Garrett Cole is phenomenal every time he goes on the mound. He is undefeated these past 20 games, 20 starts, 20-0 as a starter. Yeah, Gary Sanchez and Gleyber Torres still struggling at the plate, but they can still hit, and they're still producing runs. So I'm going to go with the Yankees at number 3.
Very potent team, and honestly, I've got them at number 2, and the only reason why I have them a bit ahead of the Athletics is because, yes, they lost yesterday, but the Athletics got blown out, and the Yankees lost 6-3. It was more respectable. They are honestly like 0.3% ahead of the Athletics in my book right now. It is so close, but I do have that the Yankees at number 2. They've just been so good in the last week, despite the injuries, which helps them out a lot. To be so good with having Judge down for so long and Stanton, it's two big blows to their lineup, but I think they've overcome it very well.
Yeah. The Athletics. Like I said earlier, what they did against the Giants was terrific. 2 late comebacks, then in the 5th they put up 9 runs. This team is dangerous. This team is really good, and yet they still don't have A.J. Puck, who's still injured. It's incredible what they're doing, and I think that they are a silent contender once again this year. Bob Melvin is one of the best managers in the entire MLB, and he continually proves that with what he does with the Athletics.
Yeah, well, Ryan said I got the Athletics at number 2, and then I have a tie at the top. Yeah, this Athletics. I agree with Michael though. If this podcast was yesterday, they would be the top spot. But they lost their last 2 games. But those Giants comebacks, that is unheard of. That's actually it's insane. Like I watched a video about like how they're trying to cheat, not cheat. How they're trying to how Giants fans are trying to tank now. The whole thing. Just props to the Athletics.
Big props.
At number 2, I got the Athletics. This team is, my gosh, amazing. I'm going to legit buy a jersey from them because they have a 6-6 jersey. They're playing really good baseball. At the same time, I'm just loving how they're destroying the AL West and putting the Astros in their place. The Athletics with not the big name talents, they're one of the best teams in baseball.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
So yeah, I'm gonna go with the Athletics at number 2.
That's a big spot, but that also makes us all have the Dodgers at number 1. The Dodgers came from last week having a very rough week. The Los Angeles Dodgers are number 1. They had a rough week the week before, but this week, man, I think what have they won 6 in a row now? They're
7.
just on 7. Wow. There's no question. They're number 1. Again, like I said, yesterday would have been a different story, but they had a big win yesterday, and the Athletics lost. Just such a huge week for the Dodgers. I can't argue against them.
Yeah, I'll just piggyback on what you were saying. I really think, obviously, this is the best win streak we had all season. But just to let you guys know, the Dodgers haven't lost a single series since the beginning of the season, and they had tough games against other teams. They split a series against the Padres, but they haven't lost a series at all.
You guys split the Giants opening weekend too.
That's true.
Yeah, but we haven't lost a single series.
I know.
You guys also haven't been
I'm just kidding.
Yikes. A number I gave before the season started was that the Dodgers have not had a losing record since June of 2018. They're going to keep that going, presumably right now into 2021. That also means that they have one opening day in 19 and 20. They're going to rely on that. They have to, if they want to keep that going, they're going to have to win opening day next year. So big.
Opening day is not a big deal, except that when we lost against the Padres, I think it was
2018.
2018, I remember that one, or 2017. I don't remember which opening day it was. But besides that, Clayton Kershaw was undefeated in opening day. But I wouldn't worry about it because at the end of the day, Walker Buehler is going to be the starter for them. But yeah, Dodgers are really, really good right now. I think this is going to be a really, really good upcoming schedule for them because they did play the Angels and they did split a really good series against the Padres, and they're really beating the Mariners right now. And they had a little bit of a struggle that first game because it's just back and forth on Monday. And yesterday they barely won by 1 run. But if you look at it, they have 2 games at Seattle, and they go against the Rockies, the second place team in the NL West. So this week is going to be a very, very tough schedule for the Dodgers, and it's going to really determine how good of a team they are. Obviously 7-0 is good, but when it's a competition like the Rockies, who's going to be battling for the division with you, it's going to be a really good series, really good week for them.
Yeah, Marco just gave us his upcoming week predictions other than the record, so that's good. That crosses that checkbox.
This team is insane. This team is the best team in the league. They're proving it. They're playing great baseball, and they're only going to keep playing this way. They struggled at the beginning, but now you're seeing Walker Buehler, who's starting to get together. Guys who have started out rough, they're starting to get together. The team is starting to mend and blend together. Betts is getting to that MVP level, so I expect a lot from this team, and they're the best. I don't think there's an argument against that.
You see, people like Ryan and Nick and Michael is that I don't have to say like they're the best team because you guys say, and that helps me not sound biased. So thank you guys.
There's no way to disprove like us trying to prove that the Dodgers aren't number one is just it wouldn't help anything. No.
It's like saying that the Mets are going to win the World Series. It's just stupid.
Ah, shut up.
Oh, I wonder who said that one.
That's a great subtweet right there.
It is. But yeah, so that is our power rankings. Make sure come back again next week if you want to hear those power rankings updated next week. See how people have done, if people have done better or worse. That brings us to the standings update before we get into our weekly predictions. This is obviously going to be pretty quick. I'm just going to go rapid fire right through here so that we can see where everybody's sitting at. In the National League East, we have a new National League East division leader. That is the Atlanta Braves. They're 14-11. They have now taken the hold of that division by 1 game. Cubs lead the NL Central at 15-7 by 4.5 games. The Dodgers lead that NL West by 4 games with an 18-7 record. That 7-win streak has been so big for them. The AL East, we've got the Yankees leading at 16-7. They only have a 1.5 game lead over the Rays. That can change very quickly in a few days. The Minnesota Twins are at the top of their division in that AL Central at 16-8. They've got a 1.5 game lead up on the Indians. And then the Athletics are leading their division. However, the Astros have won 6 games in a row. They are hot on their tail, only 2.5 games back. So things are getting interesting in the AL West right now if the Astros keep up that heat. So that brings us to our upcoming week predictions for our teams. The way I was planning on going at this is just kind of saying the record at the end of the week. If you want to go over the games that they're going to win, I mean, we don't necessarily have to do that. But my projection for the week, we'll assume that they just play 6 games between our podcasts, and obviously we'll adjust as we go. But I'm going right now. I think that the Mets are going to go 4-2 this week. They have 3 games against the Marlins in this upcoming week, and then they have 4 games against the Yankees. Those Yankees are going to be responsible for 2 of their losses. I think the Mets are going to take 1 against the Yankees, and I think they're going to complete their 4-game sweep against the Marlins. However, I do think the Yankees are going to knock them down a little bit, but going 4-2 in this stretch is pretty cool for them. That would take them right up to next Wednesday. Will they be continuing another series against the Marlins and then playing the Yankees again? So I'm hopeful. I think a 4-2 week for the Mets is in store. They're hitting a lot better. I'm really excited for that Yankee series. My Yankee friends love to talk a lot, and they love to tell me that we are going to get crushed by them. So it would make me nothing but happy if the Mets can destroy the Yankees this week. Ryan, let's see your predictions.
For me with the Royals, I'm going to put them at 4-3 for this week. Today, last night their game was postponed against the Reds because of COVID, but I think that they will take one of these games against the Reds, so they'll split once again like they did with this last week, I believe. And then after that, they have a 3-game set with the Twins where I think they're going to take 2 out of 3 after losing 3 out of 4 in the past series. They're going to be upset, and they're going to want to bounce back. And then they have a start of a 3-game series with the Cardinals, and I think they will, out of the 2 that are played within the week that we're going to have, I'm going to have them taking one of those games to go 4-3.
That's the one I agree with you, Ryan. The one against the Cardinals.
Seriously.
Bro, come on now.
Last time the Royals swept the Twins earlier last week or the week before.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
They swept the Twins.
But now the Twins got pitching and hitting.
What?
They've been on a hot streak, hitting and pitching. But anyways, Nick, go ahead.
So, sad week.
I love you, Ryan.
It's tough. We're done for. We're probably gonna go 1-5 this week.
Damn.
Just overcome you.
Yeah. We're gonna win one. I think either today or tomorrow against the White Sox, and then the Indians are gonna sweep us. I have no faith in that series.
I think they'll take one against the Indians.
At least I'm being realistic, okay? What is this?
He's going for
the season.
Yeah, I understand that, but I'm being realistic, and we're not. Yeah.
My predictions are realistic here.
Oh, okay.
All right, Marco, you're up.
Series against the Twins, so split it with the Reds.
It would only seem realistic if you had a crystal ball that you could see the future, Ryan.
I'm just nervous about Matt Harvey tonight.
Yeah, I am too. Good God.
Okay, on my end, we got 2 games in Seattle after those 2 home games against the Mariners. I do see them taking both games. Yeah. I see them winning both games. Then they got 3 against Colorado in LA. I think they're going to sweep them, but worst case scenario, I think 2-1. I think 2-1 is going to be the probable outcome of that series. And then they have 1 against the Giants in San Francisco. I'm pretty sure they're going to win it. So I'm going to go with 6-1. Or is it 6-1? Is that? Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, 5-1. My bad. My math was wrong.
It's fine.
Imagine I could go 5-1. Couldn't be me or Nick. Or Michael, for that matter of fact.
Yeah, it wasn't me either. It's good God. I wish. All right, so that brings us right into the
you could maybe have a 13-win streak too.
You could.
If you actually do sweep the Rockies, but I think it's gonna be 5-1.
I think they'll take the second game of that series.
Maybe.
Right. It would help if we had pitchers in line for these games. It would kind of help us out a little bit. That brings us into the league leaders. Charlie Blackmon still leading.
Whichever game Ross Stripling is playing, that's the game that the Rockies could play. I mean, they could win because Ross Stripling looked horrible against the Mariners. Or if Ross Stripling pitches against the Giants, because he'll be in the Mariners.
He'll be in the Rockies. So Blackmon's brought himself back up. He was at 370 the other day, which is kind of tough. But when last week he was batting an even 500, he's now batting 429, leading the division, leading baseball. And that batting average. Fernando Tatis Jr. though, man of the year right now. He has 11 home runs, leading Major League Baseball, and he's got 28 RBIs. Very impressive numbers right there. With the ERA side on the pitchers, Lance Lynn leading Major League Baseball in ERA. He is taking over. He's got a 1.11 ERA. This guy has been so underrated all season long, but Shane Bieber is continuing to kill with those strikeouts at 54. And then we bring it over to the whip. And Kenta Maeda has brought himself over. Also, keep in mind that last week we had Trevor Bauer leading this category. He's not qualified anymore for the whip, which is too bad. But he probably would have been towards the top. But Kenta Maeda, 0.63. That's pretty impressive. He's having an amazing season right now. Obviously, the Dodgers, if the Dodgers had Kenta Maeda right now, this would be no question your World Series winners without a doubt. So that's a good thing for them. That brings us into our hitter and pitcher of the week. For hitter of the week, I've got Brandon Lowe of the Tampa Bay Rays. I think that he has had such a great stretch. He's had 5 home runs, 12 RBIs, a 480 batting average, and a 1.696 OPS this week. He has single-handedly helped this Rays team get to where they are right now in that top 5 in the power ranking. Such a potent bat, and he's going to keep that up.
For me, I have Juan Soto of the Nationals this past week. 29 at bats, a 448 average, 556 on base, over 1,000 on slugging percentage and OPS, 13 hits, 5 RBIs, and 5 home runs and 11 RBIs. He's hitting the ball really well, and he's helping that Nationals team climb back in it. So, he's by far my hitter of the week.
I would have said Juan Soto, but since my man Fernando decided to swing 3-0 and hit that grand slam, that just adds another. That means he's leading the league in home runs. Is he leading the league in RBIs too? I messed up. RBIs.
Yes.
Yeah. He's insane, without a doubt. I respected Dominic Stern for his franchise picking that man. He's my hitter of the week, and he probably will be next week too. Just a spoiler alert.
Gotcha. My pick of the week is I gotta go with someone you guys didn't choose. I gotta go with Mookie Betts. I gotta go with him because of the fact that game that he had a 3 home run game is I mentioned it earlier. It started off their 7-game winning streak at the same time. Ryan said it earlier too. How it's the team is coming together. The team is coming together. In the last 7 games, he has had 11 RBIs, 5 home runs, 5 stolen bases. 1 stolen base. I was looking at the strikeouts. My bad. But average 355, on base percentage 394. This guy is not performing what we were expecting of Mookie Betts. When in the beginning he was just struggling at the plate, he couldn't hit a ball. He hit it, but obviously it was pop-ups or straight ground balls to the people on flyouts. But now he's hitting the ball out of the yard. He's moving guys up at the leadoff position, and that's the crazy thing. When you hit leadoff, people think like you're not going to bring any runs in, or there's nothing you can do about that. So far, he has 11 RBIs as a leadoff batter and 5 home runs. So I got to give it to Mookie Betts. Tatis is a strong contender, strong contender. But he probably my next week pick to see what happens. But I'm gonna go with Mookie Betts this week.
Good picks all around. We all disagreed on. I think that's the first time ever. That brings us to the pitcher of the week. I've got Kenta Maeda here. He's got his ERA up to a 1.8, well down to a 1.84, and he's got the 0.61 whip in the last week, now leading the majors in whip. He's also had 17 strikeouts and 16 innings of work. Just been an amazing week for Kenta Maeda. 2 amazing starts, almost threw a no-hitter last night. Such a great moment for him. So he's got to be my pitcher of the week.
I thought about going with Zach Greinke, but Kenta Maeda, but I'm going to go with Zach Greinke. Sorry. 14 to 30 innings pitched. He has pitched really well, especially pulling the slider that being out. He had this past week 14 strikeouts, 10 total hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 1-0 record. Especially last night against Colorado, 8 innings, shutout, 7 strikeouts. He's pitched really well, and he's really making up for the loss of Verlander. And that's big for them because he's a great pitcher, and losing him was big, and he's doing his part to help them manage without Verlander.
I gotta go Lance Lynn. What he did Friday was insane. Went 9 innings pitched, gave up 2 hits, 2 runs, 6 strikeouts, and then he played the Angels the start before. Went 5. He's 4-1 on the year this year, and he has been absolutely insane. He's the reason the Rangers are. Well, no, the Rangers aren't even doing that good, but he's a bright spot. He's a bright spot in that Rangers team, and he's my pitcher of the week.
Nice. Mine was a big toss-up between Kenta Maeda and Shane Bieber again. Because Shane Bieber, his last outing on the 15th against the Detroit Tigers, he struck out 11 batters. 11 batters, man. And he only allowed 3 hits. Just 3 hits. Really, he was just tearing it up.
They were really bad. So.
Yeah, I know, but that stat line, it's
I know.
That's MLB the show number sometimes, Yeah. So it doesn't matter who you are. Like if you strike out,
Royals bad, and he threw 14 strikeouts opening night.
He's hopeful.
Yeah. But I'm gonna go with Shane Bieber. Kenta Maeda was a strong second, number 2. But the only thing about Kenta Maeda is that my big thing is strikeouts. I love strikeouts a lot. And the last 2 games before, he pitched on the 12th against the Brewers and on the 6th against the Pittsburgh Pirates. And then both, he only had 9 strikeouts total combined. So that's why I don't think I think this is a pretty good stretch, a good run for him that he's going to begin. But I think it's a little bit too early to say he's the best pitcher of the week or something like that. If that makes sense, you know.
I gotcha. That's a pretty good one. But yeah, that's the first time I think that we have never picked the same players. That is pretty cool. So that leaves us 5 more minutes on the show. We're going to start doing something different at the end of the podcast. We're going to do something called This Day in Baseball History. We're all going to pick something from the website that I sent these guys. Obviously, I hope you guys have been looking because we might pick something different from each other. But I'm going right away.
Oh, that's what we wanted to do. Oh, my bad.
Oh, you're good. Don't worry about it. This day in baseball history. Exactly 111 years ago today, the Philadelphia Phillies were rained out for the 10th consecutive day in Major League record. I don't know if that record's held up. I'm assuming it probably has, but that's pretty cool. 10 games in a row. The thing that I'm comparing this to is this day and age, where I wonder what they did to make up those games. I would have to go back and look at that. But the Phillies, 10 games in a row missed. That could really impact it. I wonder if they went to the winning percentage to figure out how that season was determined. That would be very interesting. So that's my This Day in Baseball History. Ryan, we'll take it to you.
For me, I had trouble picking between two, but in 1957, on this day, the New York Giants owner Horace Stoneham announced that the team's board of directors had voted 9-1 in favor of moving to San Francisco, leading to them becoming the San Francisco Giants. And ever since, that's who they still are.
Absolutely. Nick?
I'm not gonna lie to you, I didn't do this.
That's right. I think the easy one for you is that Ty Cobb got his 3,000th hit this day in 1921. I'll leave it to you.
Thank you.
Yes, of course. Ty Cobb got his 3,000th hit off of Boston pitcher Elmer Myers at age 34, the youngest player to ever do so. But 3,000 hits right there. That was 99 years ago today for you, Nick. That means that 1 year from now, it'll be 100 years since Ty Cobb got his 3,000th hit. So when you're watching the broadcasts on TV today, and they say that on this day Ty Cobb got that 3,000th hit, you already know that. You can say you already knew it. Marco, it's up to you now.
I'm going to go with, in 1969, this day in baseball, Ken Holtzman of the Cubs blanked the Atlanta Braves with a 3-0 no-hitter at Wrigley Field. And it was a 3-run shot, a 3-run homer in the first inning by Ron Santos. That was the only offense we saw. So basically, it was a pitcher's duel after that 3-run shot. You know, so basically, so I'm going to go with that no-hitter in Wrigley Field in 1969.
Very, very true. It is that is how we do it. I mean, a lot of cool things happened on this day. We saw Lefty Grove winning his 16th consecutive game back in
19 as well was Lefty Grove.
That was a really good one. We had in 1945, Jimmy Fox, the hitter Jimmy Fox, pitched a 7-inning game and a doubleheader with only allowing 1 run, which is pretty awesome. Obviously, though, a lot of really cool things have happened. I guess August 19th is a pretty cool day in baseball history. We'll see what it'll be next week. Make sure you tune in next week if you want to hear how our predictions played out, our power rankings, and obviously that day in baseball history. You never know what you're going to find. So make sure you guys tune back in. We will be here. I don't know what day we're going to do. We've got to figure it out with school, what day works best. It'll probably be either Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. Most likely Wednesday or Thursday, if I had to guess. But I'm excited for it. We've got a really exciting time ahead of us. Baseball, we're at the halfway point. Don't forget, next week, we will be doing the All-Star Game picks. We will all be coming in with we'll be coming in with all-star players that we think would be in an all-star game, and we'll be doing that. So I can't wait for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. We'll see you guys all next week. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. We hope your teams do well.